I've heard the screams for months after that. Oh, it's getting overwhelming now. Just remembering, recalling the horrors of that day. Well, before I get into the story about my building fire, that I momentarily thought I was gonna not gonna make it. I like to share a fire that happened in my city in Chicago. That happened back in 1871. It was the Great Chicago Fire. I heard about it in school off and on growing up, and it was terrible. It killed around 300 people and left 100,000 100,000 people homeless. It's called the Great Chicago Fire. Happened in 1871. Yeah, stop mentioning it because when I was looking up the thumbnail for this video, I ran across it. So I was like, fuck, I might as well talk a little bit about it before I go into the story. So that was fucked up. 300 people like died and 100,000 became homeless. You know, I mean, a lot of things happen that's beyond our control. Sometimes we're at the wrong place at the wrong time. You could even be sleeping in your home, sleep, and you'll wake up to a knife to your throat, you know, to face a horror that you may not survive. Or in my case, you can wake up to the smell of smoke early in the morning hours. This is the morning of June 20th, 2021. I remember the night before I went to bed. I remember what I was doing before I went to bed that night. I was on YouTube. I was watching some RoboCop flicks. I like the original RoboCop, and I was watching a clip. So watch some clips, shit like that. RoboCop 3 and all. It was RoboCop 3 that I was watching the clips last about, and how Alex Murphy's rather RoboCop's former partner passed away. She got shot, protecting him and shit. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. She did that for him, and all that and thing like that. So I ended up going to bed. So and I woke up to it was daylight at this point. It was early in the morning, but it was daylight. In fact, it was cloudy like it is now. Ironically, it looked just like this, just like except it's an afternoon at this point. But it was like around 7, maybe six between 6 and 7 in the morning. It had just got daylight, and I woke up to the smell of smoke, like I said, and I didn't think much of it. I was half asleep anyway. I was like, oh, somebody burned some stupid ass neighbor. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even look around to see the source of the smoke. I didn't try to. It was like I said, it was early in the fucking morning. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't getting out of bed yet. I was planning on getting out of bed. So I went to sleep. I went back to sleep. Then I woke back up, and I can feel the heat on my face. And somebody was downstairs outside screaming, holy shit, somebody called the fire department. That building's on fire. That apartment's on fire. It was like screams and everything. I was like, what the fuck? So I got out of bed, and that's when I saw it. I couldn't fucking believe it. Um, I could see the flames outside my window. The only window I had in the apartment. Uh, I was trying to compose myself. This is really. I didn't think it was gonna be this hard to even recount this over later. It was hard enough when I was doing during the live stream because it was that day of. It was that night that I did a live stream talking about it. So back to the fire. I wasn't gonna leave the house at first. I was gonna stay inside. I said, "Oh, they're gonna take care of. I have to stay inside here." But something told me to get the fuck out that house now. I started hearing people downstairs as I was getting my clothes on to leave. There were people. I started hearing noises in the hallway, uh, on my floor. People running. Uh, I tell you one thing. I'm glad I left my door open. Oh my god! Hold on. Give me a minute. Gosh, man, stop! Don't. Calm down. I'm glad I left my door open because the fire department had to break it if they because they was checking all the apartments when I was downstairs already, and I'm glad I left it open because I don't know why I normally you would think I would have locked my door after I left out the apartment, but I left it open. I don't know why I did, but I just did, and I'm glad because they would have to break my door down. So, but I was getting a little ahead of myself. Anyways, I get out the apartment, close the door, and it was like it, it was like death all through the fucking hallway. I tried to go down the stairs that I usually take. If I don't take I wasn't gonna take the elevator. I know better than to do that. Take the elevator if there's a fire. They do not recommend you do that. Um, so I was trying to go down the stairs and I opened it. It was smoke. It was pitch black, and that's when I heard the screams of the floor that the fire where the fire started from. I couldn't see shit down there. I said I was just standing there like, what the fuck? My heart is pounding. I'm like, am I gonna get the fuck out of here? Am I gonna fucking die of smoke inhalation? You know, it's like, what the fuck, man? And I heard this woman screaming, "Help me! Help me! Please, somebody help me!" That scream and other screams accompanying hers didn't leave me for months after the fact. And I could still fucking hear it in the back of my head. It's just I can still fucking hear it sometimes. It's like I wanted to go help. I wanted to go down and help them, but I couldn't. For one, it's not my job. I'm not a fireman. I'm not equipped to fucking pull people out of fucking fire or smoke and shit. I don't got the equipment for it. I don't got no gas mask, whatever, air mask, whatever you call it. I'm just a fucking resident. So I knew I said I'm getting the fuck out of here. I can't. I hope they make it. I'm gone. So I remember there's another exit on the other side of the building. So I ran down there, hoping that it wasn't as bad as the exit I was going to get out. 'Cause I forgot about the exit because I never walked down those steps before. So I ran down the hallway to that exit, and it was bad, but it wasn't as bad as the first one. So I got down the steps. As I was coming down, I was hearing people, hearing foot stumps and all that shit. And I'm just going down the stairs. Finally made it out, and I whipped out my phone when I got to where the source of the fire was at. I knew where it was at because I lived on the top floor in an apartment next to it. It was on the top, and there was an apartment next to it. That's where I stayed at. So the fire started on the apartment below me, across from me. That's a good thing I didn't live above that apartment because I would have definitely had to move out. So I recorded for like 15 minutes, but my fucking battery, rather my memory ran out. I only had 15 minutes to record. It would have been longer if I had the juice for it. But well, unfortunately, I got 15 minutes. It was good enough. I got some good footage of the flames. And yes, it's on my channel. Of course, it is. Um, it was fucking horrific. I mean, I called my mom that moment. She was just getting up. She's like, "What's going on?" I said, "I told her everything." She's like, "You need me to come and get you?" I'm like, "No, I don't think I'm okay. I'll let you know if you need to come and get me." But some of the details of that day escaped me. But if you want to know more details, I did make a live stream that night about it, and like it was more fresh in my mind then. So there's more details I can give you that I can't remember here. But I just gave you the gist of it. What happened? This is basically the aftermath I'm sharing with you. This is the fire aftermath. So the months after that fire, um, every time I smelled smoke, I panicked. Every time I saw a fire, no matter if it's in a fucking video game, I panicked. Um, it was crazy. It even got to the point where I shared it with somebody that I know on YouTube, and they said, "Damn," you know, because it wasn't until about 6 months that I was like, "Why am I still having PTSD about this shit?" You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes I will wake up with a start like, "Oh, okay," and go back to sleep. Lead those months after the fire. I mean, there was some nights where I would wake up and it'll still be dark and I smell smoke, or I would think I smell smoke, and I would get out the bed and go out in the hallway and see if there's another fire. And once I'm sure there's not, I go back to bed. You know, it was crazy. It was fucking crazy. It's like I just kept reliving that day over and over and over again. It's just crazy, man. These kids, the kids outside of something else, aren't they? I know you can hear them. You gotta remind ourselves we was kids once too, so we can't really get fucking mad, right? So, anyways, back to this. So right now, at this point, it's much better. I don't have many episodes anymore. No PTSD is almost damn near gone. As I can recall, ever since I moved into this apartment 3 months back, I had about maybe one, at least one, that I can remember of a PTSD episode about that fire. Just one. But that's about it. And that's an improvement over months before, especially the months after the fire. If my buildings had fires off and on since I've been there, the 4 years since I've been there, But that was the biggest one. At least that to according to my knowledge. According since I was there, that was the biggest fire. There was a smaller one that happened. I did document it, by the way, on my channel. There's a smaller fire that happened on my floor of all places. But it was a small one. The fire department came to put it out. But it was like fucking 11 of them, 10 of them, or something like that. They told me pretty much go back to bed, keep your door closed. You know what I'm saying? But I was already amped up, so I ended up getting my phone out and I record and I did a little, I guess you could call it a documentary. And I was talking about I went out and I was recording you know I was running my mouth about it and shit like that. Then I went back upstairs and that's when I ended the recording. So that's on my channel too. And I also did another one. And it actually was another fire that happened in my building too. Um, but I assume this was small too. But I don't remember. I don't remember the details of that one. But if you watch the video, you'll get more details out of it because it was still fresh in my mind. So, but yeah, that's pretty much about it about the experience. Like I said, I'm doing much better now as mentally as regarding this shit because I knew eventually was gonna go away, but I didn't think it was gonna take this long. So, mm, yeah, so that's it. Yep, a year and 3 months later at this point. That is something I hope I never have to go through again. It was very horrific. And fires are scary, man. They're really fucking scary. I mean, shit. And that heat was intense. Even though the fire was coming from the floor below me, across from me, that heat was fucking intense. Imagine being in the fucking house where the fire was at. Holy shit. Well, that's all I have for today on this vlog about this subject. I just wanted to do an after. I've been planning on doing this since 2 months already. It's 2 months now. But I decided to do it since I'm mentally better about it now. It took over a year for it to really completely leave me, the PTSD. Uh, yeah, so this is why Chromosome sign the fuck out. Peace and love. Good health to you all and be safe out there. Peace. I'm out.